So today I will teach you guys about Python 101 part 2. So the contents of the topic today is control flow, if statements, and for statements. What does range function do, and while statements? What is the difference between break and continue function? And lastly, Python practice questions. Okay. First, let's go to control flow. What is control flow? Control flow is to tell computer which statements or instructions is to execute it in sequential order. In Python, control flow is, for example, if else, for loop, while, and function, and etc. For if statement, this is the visualization of if statements. Let's say we have two sets of items A and B. If an item is classified as A, then take action A, vice versa for B. So when you look at the flowchart and input an items, for example A, so then this classifier or if statements will decide, hey, is this A or B? Since we pick A, so we will go to the left, which is A action. We will get a triangle. But if the user or you input B, it will go to the right, which is taking B action. So what it is like in Python? The if else statement in Python is just if, as we can see from line A. When the user input, so from the Python code, take an integer input from a user. So the user input, let's say 12 here, and then it's this int num will be string. You have to convert it to integer, so you use an int, and int num will convert to int. As I tell you from the previous lesson, if you're not sure, you can consult my Python 101 part 1, which I will attach the link below under the video script. So then if the int num equal 12, if 12 modulo 2 is equal 0, yes it is, so it's print even number. But if the input of the user is 13, which is odd number, and the 13 modulo 2 is 1, so it will go to the second condition, else print odd number. Let's look at the code, demonstrate how the user take an input. Okay, so for this if statement, I would like to build an integer number classifier, odd or even numbers. So then I write these scripts as I show you from my PowerPoint slide, and then I execute the cell. Then you will see the prompt in the top of the Jupyter notebook. If you have a Visual Studio Code, you can use this also. Then when I type the input, for example, my input over here, let's say I type 5, this would output the odd number. So then the output here is odd number. So this is how you use the control for if statements. Then go back to PowerPoint slide. Oh, and then one thing, when you write the if statements, all the content inside the if statements need to have indentation. If you don't have indentation, Python IDE wouldn't know under the if condition or outside the if condition scope. So if you want to write Python script inside the if else scope, you have to indent it under the if else scope, like what I did. And indent is equal for space bar. So then now the question is, if you have two options, you would use if and else. But if you have more options for user, will if and else will be enough? The answer is no. So what you can do is you can use else if. In short, or in the Python script, is for statement or for loops. If we want to output a car's number that drive past us, what would be a good ways to output in Python? Can we just do print 1 car pass by, print 2 car pass by, and so on and so forth, print 10 car pass by? Would this be the good idea? to do so? Well, this way, this is non-scalable. So if you have 10,000 cars, you have to copy the print 10,000 times, which is impossible. Therefore, the better option or the better approach is to use for loop. For loop is used for repetitive tasks and it is scalable. So from this, let's say you want number of car pass by, or you see number of car pass by equal 10. You create a for loop. So for, and it is the index at that iteration in range 1 to number of car pass by plus 1. And then you print all the index I car pass by. And the reason to plus 1 here is the range only count the first number and then the last number minus 1. Visual Studio Code. Let's say if I want number of car to be 15, then I run or execute the cell. Then I got 1, 2, 3 to 15 car pass by. However, if I use the print statement and I want 15 car, I have to copy this and then put and control C and control V here, and then I have to change it to be 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, and then we run it, which this is very time consuming and very laboring work. Okay, what does range function do? It generates arithmetic sequence. Definition of range A, B, D. Starts first element from A and the next element is arithmetically incremented by D and the last element cannot exceed B. For example, if I write a Python script list range 0, 17 to 3, 0 to 17 incremented by 3. Then the output is 0, then incremented by 3 plus 0 by 3, 3 increment by 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, increment by 3, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15. And then list range equal 10. This is more shortcut. When we say list range 10, it will start from 0 and it ends by the number 10 minus 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The next topic is while loop, while statement, while condition inside statements, and then update condition. Again, always give an indentation for statements that belong to while statement as well as for statement. While statement is like for statement. The computer will repeatedly run in while statement until the condition is false. So it will like run first time and then update the condition, check the condition whether the condition is true or false. If it's true, we go over the statement inside the while loop again and then repeatedly check the condition until the condition is false, then exit the while loop. For example, we limit the number equal 10 and then start counting equal 0. While count less than limit number, statement is print hello world, and then we update the condition by count equal count plus 1. And the next time is count equal 1, print hello world again. And then update the count from 1 to 2, and then we check 2 is less than 10, so we print hello world. We do this again and again until count equal 10, and then check if count less than limit number equal 10. No, that is not true. So then when it's not true, we now skip the while statement and moving on to another part of the Python script. And by the way, for extra bonus, Python script is running from top to bottom. Then what is the difference from break versus continue? So break statement is if break is in the for loop, while loop, or something alike. After a computer read a break statement, it will completely skip the loop. For example, break, let's say we want to break at 5. we construct a for loop index I in range of 0 to 10, and then we write a if else condition. Whenever index I equal break at, if break at equal 5 and index I equal 5, we go to break. You will see that from the result, after it see break index I equal 5, it stop right away. However, continue, if continue is in for loop, while loop, or something else, after computer read a continue statement, it will skip the remaining instruction in that loop and then go to the next iteration of the loop. For example, we want to continue at 5. We set up the same if else condition. And then when index I equal 5, we continue. So discard all the rest of the statement inside the for loop. We go to the next iteration. Then as you can see, it skip output 5. So this is the difference between break and continue. Break is to break out of the for loop, but for the continue, we only skip that at iteration of the for loop. Okay, now let's see Python practice questions. The practice question is about the BMI. Let's say users prompt their weight in kilogram and height in meter, and they want to know their health condition, whether obese, overweight, normal, or underweight, and write it in Python script. So then for the people who have BMIs greater than or equal 30, categorized as obese, and in between 23 to 29 overweight, 18.5 to 22.9 normal, and less than 18.5 underweight. And the formula of BMI equal weight kilogram divided by height square meter square. Then how we can write this in Python? Okay, let's go to the Python code. Okay, so first we need to input or prompt the user to input a weight in kilogram. So we write input, please input your weight in kilogram, and then we store the values of the user weight as a user weight variable, and then ask user to prompt their height in meter and store it as a user height. Then we need to calculate the BMI of that user. What is the formulas of BMI? BMI is equal to user weight over user height square. Then after you get the value of user BMI, going to the chart and check if the user BMI is greater than 30, then the user are obese, so you print you are obese. And if they have the less BMI, we check on another case. User BMI between 23 to 29, so overweight. So if the user is in this category, we'll print you are overweight. And then if it's in between 18 to 22, print you are normal. And then lastly, less than 18.5, you are underweight. And that's it for Python 101 part 2. I hope that my video will help you understand more Python basics and can use and apply with your work. And if you like my video, please subscribe and follow my next video for learning basic Python part 3. And having a wonderful day.